Alright everyone, so I'm not really going to play around here with this video, and it's not going to be the normal video that you're used to seeing me make, because I won't lie when I say that this is going to be a very depressing group of topics to discuss, all centered around the future of the Avatar IP, a future that looks very uncertain right now due to some recent stories that have come out in the last week and couple of days, along with some rumors that will worry everyone. What has happened recently has been enough for me to come out and finally make a video like this one. And to prepare you all, there might be some rants for me as we discuss. That's not something I normally do in my videos, but it is warranted here today. To start, as most of you know, there is a brand new Avatar show coming out relatively within the next year or two called Avatar 7 Havens. It will be following the next Avatar after Korra. And so far, there is no official release date, but many insiders think it will come out sometime next year at the earliest. Well, there's a good chance all of that could be cut short, because it just came out the other day that a hacking group that was responsible for the full leak of the Avatar Aang animated movie is also planning to leak this show online as well. This all comes from a company called Vision Media, who Avatar Studios under Paramount and other big studios use to send out screeners to people to watch new shows and movies. It's essentially a process that critics use where they can watch stuff early and review it for people before it comes out. And here is where the rant begins. And I say this directly to Paramount. You are such a disgrace of a company for letting this happen once again. The fact that you care more about making sure that a deal is done to buy up another giant studio system as opposed to making sure the security of your company is intact speaks loudly of the kind of integrity that you want to hold amongst your competition towards other studios, as well as holding any ground to stand on that a filmmaker should want to work with you at all in the future moving forward. It's bad enough that you have so many actors and filmmakers signing petitions because they don't want your deal to buy up Warner Brothers to go through. You are alienating so many people with the decisions that you have been making lately, and you have now completely alienated an entire fan base for one of the biggest animated IPs that you own. It doesn't shock me at all that someone would want to target your studio and this IP as something to exploit because you have just taken a crap on all of it at every chance that you have been given. And what's even crazier, this just broke as I was writing up the script for this video. Paramount are prepared to sell some of their children's TV assets to secure EU approval for their Warner Brothers acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, if it wasn't obvious enough already, this just confirmed it. Paramount, as a studio, does not give a flying fuck about Avatar or even animation and cartoons as a whole. The fact that you are willing to sell off this stuff so that you can buy up a studio is insane, and it shows just how desperate they are. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, in the world would make me happier than seeing the Avatar brand be out of Paramount's hands and in the hands of another studio. And guess what? This is a perfect transition into the next huge story that broke the other day that also relates to Paramount. Saber Interactive's AAA Avatar The Last Airbender RPG video game has been cancelled. The game was said to feature a brand new Avatar living thousands of years before Aang. So for those of you who are not in the know about this, we covered this sometime within the last 2 years, that a new RPG video game was being made for Avatar from game studio Saber Interactive, who right now is currently making a lot of great video games. This was something that got a lot of fans hyped, not just because of the studio, but because an RPG in this world sounds amazing as an idea. Well, guess what? Paramount doesn't give a shit about that either. Paramount Game Studios, which is their gaming division, and Avatar Studios were both co-funding and collaborating with developer Saber Interactive on this game. According to the article from IGN, one of the major reasons this decision was made was because the game was in early stages of production around the time of the merger that Paramount was having with Skydance. This also happened with several other projects that were caught in the crossfire, and this RPG game was one of them. This is just something else to add in the long line of reasons to show that the studio simply doesn't think that this brand has any value to them and is worth selling off in order to buy up another studio. And you know who just gave arguably the best response to this specific news today as I am writing it? Uncle Iroh himself, the man whose name represents this YouTube channel. Just an hour ago, as of me writing up this video, Greg Baldwin, his voice actor, came out in a tweet and said this: "Hard truth. I can speak freely because I'm 65 years old and my pocket full of fucks is seriously depleted. Working as a paralegal at various studios in LA for 30 years, I had the opportunity to observe studio executives closely. They are generally a slippery and clueless bunch who shouldn't be allowed near anything remotely creative. But the new regime at Paramount is straight up evil. I assure you, these soulless bastards have nothing but contempt for a show about grace and redemption and the struggle against fascism. Avatar is a mystery to them. They do not value the franchise. Nickelodeon will never hire me again anyway, so why not drop a truth bomb? Paramount doesn't care about Avatar. Riddle me this. What is an acceptable use of AI? Who should lose their jobs to AI? Answer, studio executives. Ironically, those cockroaches will be the last to go. From his mouth to your ears, he is literally spelling it all out for you right now with everything we have been talking about lately. Arguably the biggest reason why Avatar has been struggling lately to get anything off the ground in recent years is because this studio is so content with doing anything else productive. Because they are now under this new leadership of morons, they are so full of themselves, they don't even see what's right in front of them. In my personal opinion, if this new Avatar RPG game was a great game, I think it would have sold like hotcakes. RPGs are some of the most played video games on the planet. Some of the best video games of all time are RPGs. But again, Paramount has other more important priorities to focus on. And now, let's transition into talking about the Avatar Aang movie. You know, the movie that's now completely all over the internet for free because of a massive leak and also in person in places like barbershops? I'm not joking when I tell you the new Avatar Aang movie that hasn't even been released yet to the public is playing in barbershops of all places. According to barbershop lore and people who frequently visit these places, this is apparently not surprising because barbershops do it all the time. And on top of that, after this photo came out, we saw that it is also being sold on Blu-ray. Folks, these are real photos. This is not AI, what I'm showing you. In all the years that I have been following the film and entertainment industry, I have never seen something as egregious as this when it comes to the leaks of an IP or how it's being handled from that standpoint. It feels like only the Paramount of now could do something like this, as opposed to where this company was so many years ago. It's now owned by people who want to only use it for nefarious purposes, and given it is also now backed by Saudi Arabia and the current US presidential administration, that is even worse. For all we know, this new animated movie could get shadow dropped at any second now with no marketing. I truly believe that this movie might not get any promotion at all at this point. There were rumors that it would be getting something at San Diego Comic-Con, but now I'm even starting to doubt that. I feel so bad for all the people who worked on this movie as well as many of the other projects at Avatar Studios. And that's not even the half of it when it comes to the studio as far as the troubles they are going through. You all know my good friend Caleb Williams, the man that we all go to for our trusted news on this franchise. He came out with a very bleak tweet that kind of shows another potential piece of turmoil happening within the studio. His tweet here says, "I'm just going to tell you, there have been some major issues behind the scenes at Avatar Studios under Mike and Brian. Won't get into any specifics, but let's say it is unsurprising how the Aang movie was pulled from theaters and put on streaming day one, Seven Haven's show was pushed back, and the AAA RPG game is now canceled." The day after he tweeted this, he came out with an article, and I'm going to show you a part of it that piggybacks off what he says in this tweet. We at Night Edge Media have heard over the last year that there has been some back and forth between Mike and Brian and Paramount about how to run Avatar Studios. One rumor we heard from two separate sources was that it had gotten so bad at Avatar Studios that one of the two was removed by Paramount leadership from the day-to-day production of all animated content and forced to work only on the lore/history side of the universe until their contract expires, as well as the awful working conditions and unrealistic expectations for the animators. However, we could not verify this. Paramount may ship them off to another company just to avoid working with them again, which leads us to the next question of which studio would even want the Avatar The Last Airbender film rights. If it wasn't bad enough already, this is just fuel added on to the fire. Now, it should be noted, this situation with Brian and Mike and Paramount is not a very uncommon circumstance that happens in the industry, but make no mistake, Paramount is absolutely at the forefront of all these major issues. You should definitely go and give this article of Caleb's a read. I will link it in the description along with his Twitter. As far as what studio can pick up the rights to Avatar moving forward, if it does get sold off by Paramount, at this rate, I really don't care. Give it to Apple, give it to HBO, give it to literally anybody with a functioning pulse inside their body, because Paramount clearly doesn't have one at the moment. The last thing here to address is related to what the future holds for the Avatar IP. I may or may not make a separate video on this at some point, but for now, depending on who you are, there are two things to look forward to for now. We have the new Avatar fighting game slated to come out in July, which looks awesome in every way. Funny enough, this is a Paramount-backed game, but it was a game that was already far in development to the point where there would be no reason to write this one off, and so they are sticking by it along with the Gameplay Group International studio that's the main one working on it. They just came out with a really cool Avatar Kyoshi gameplay reveal, and overall, it is doing everything right that Paramount is allergic to. They are marketing it well, they are giving fans good community feedback, and it just looks like a lot of fun, so you can expect that within the next month if another delay doesn't happen. Along with that, we have the next season of the Netflix live-action adaptation coming out at the end of this month, as it will adapt Book 2 of the cartoon. You all know I've been covering this next upcoming season for a while, and so far, everything looks like it's going to be in a much better state as far as what they've listened to from the feedback of the fans and everything they are trying to correct. I personally don't think they are marketing this season very well, but I just hope that the quality is better and it can bring back more people to watch it. As far as the Avatar Aang animated movie, to close off this part of the conversation, I just think it will get shadow dropped at this point. We don't know what is going on anymore with that film. And so, if this is really all we have left for the rest of the year to deal with, this is what we got. There's not much else I can really say other than it's been a very depressing state of affairs lately. I'm always trying to be optimistic, open-minded, and hopeful for you guys from a personality perspective on this channel. But I just can't today with this video. This all needed to be said because it's just gone too far, and people like me have had enough of it. And with that being said, I'm gonna end the video there, ladies and gentlemen. What do you all think about this as far as what your hopes are for whatever we can get at this point? Drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on the video. If you are new here, subscribe and turn on that notification bell if you want more updates. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll see you all soon in the next video.